Hello, you are listening to the countdown to LG7 with Big Pink Energy, who is me. Maybe you're listening because you're a huge Lady Gaga fan, desperate for news and gossip about her new album. Maybe you feel like you have to listen to this because you're my friend and it would be kind of embarrassing for me if this podcast didn't do very well. Or maybe you're here because you're secretly in love with us. Ooh! Today's episode, just to say, absolutely will contain some spoilers due to certain leaks and accidental early reveals. So if you are trying to keep as much of LG7 as a surprise for yourself as possible, maybe come back and listen to this episode after January 27th. Do not worry, we are not playing any snippets or copyright materials or anything like that. We're just going to be talking. But I did think it was only fitting that we spoke to some American fans this week. So joining me today, I have two dear friends of mine. I have Jakara and Kristen. I do want to say before we get into it, it is so nice to have both of you joining me. I feel like you two have always been just really positive and warm, like lovely, friendly presences when I've been online. And I think when you're in like a queer space online or a really female space online, just having that energy there is so reassuring and so lovely to be around. So just before we get into it, just thank you for making like the internet a nice place to be on, because I feel like sometimes it isn't that nice to be on the internet, and you two especially, I feel like just make it really nice to be a part of. So thank you, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Brooke. Your content is beautiful. You always are so positive. I'm so happy that I literally met you on here. This is so exciting.
Oh, it's an honor.
I'm so excited.
It's an honor to be a part of this. Your pinkness. I've been calling her your pinkness.
Yes.
So, yes.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys. I'm really, really happy to have both of you. So much to talk about today. I guess let's start with the obvious, which is we know a lot about LG7 now, and we didn't know anything for a while before. So we're heading into leak territory, I guess. Let's start with what's publicly available. So ladygaga.com, we have a countdown. We have a literal countdown to LG7. We have a ticking clock. And each day, the aesthetic is changing to match a previous LG era. We are currently, as we're recording this, the website has just changed over to LG4, which is art pop. Have you guys been following along each day? Are we excited?
You know what? I don't know what to expect. Like, I feel like I think I know, and then she starts dropping these little Easter eggs, little crumbs, and I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna sit back and just wait and see what happens.
Literally.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I love the whole, energy of wanting to like know everything, but I also do feel like I am the type of person who wants some sort of like suspense too. So, yeah, I'm just obsessed. I love like the interactive website. I love I was waiting for today. I've been waiting for today.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to see like what ends up happening on, what is it, the
27th.
Yes.
7th, yes.
The 27th of January. So people, the monsters, they've, we're used to this now. We've been digging in the source code of the website. So this is where we get into maybe spoiler territory for anyone listening.
Yeah,
so,
it's wild.
I know, it's crazy. So the countdown is going to change aesthetic every day to match each of the albums, including Harlequin as LG 6.5, which I thought was very, very cute, a very nice touch. January 27th, we have discovered that the alleged LG7 album title is, drumroll, Mayhem.
Ooh.
Mayhem. LG7 is mayhem. How do we feel?
May I just say, I'm obsessed.
Yes.
I wish we got a proper, rollout, but I am so happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if that, photo ends up being real, which I feel like is very, very true. I'm obsessed with the aesthetic already. I've seen a lot of people, comparing as they do. But I feel like it's going to be very, very different. And I just feel like it's different in general because she just seems so much happier. Like, it's just so different. It feels so different, and I'm so excited.
I think Mayhem is, like, fitting because we got the lead single, or should I say second, because Die With A Smile is going to be on the album. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So the second single, Disease, I just feel like that screams mayhem. So
Yep.
I just feel like we've kind of just scratched the surface, and I think that we need to expect the unexpected because we think we know, but we really don't. I think we're just going to be gagged.
Exactly.
Gagged.
When has Gaga
For
ever
sure.
done what we thought she would? She always is doing twists, turns, plot twists, surprise reveals. You know, we're never, you know, fully in the know with what she's going to do. But I agree. I think Mayhem as a title makes sense. The way she's been alluding to chaos for so long, I think that was her giving us a little teaser of what the album's really all about. So yeah, I love it. I tell you what, the only thing that did surprise me, I was like, I really thought the album title was going to have something to do with the number 7. And I just feel like, you know, we've got LG7, we've got the countdown, the way she's doing that. I was like, even if it had like 7 letters or something, Mayhem only has 6 letters, but I was definitely wrong about that. But I'm still very, very excited. I did see people kind of alluding to a 7 Deadly Sins theme, which I think would have been cool, but I guess is maybe, I would even say maybe even too obvious for Gaga. But I don't know if you guys heard any of those like theories and stuff or what you thought about them.
I did. I saw that on Reddit, unfortunately. I had to do my digging. Yeah, I love that, but I do agree. Like, it's too easy. It's too easy for her.
Yeah.
And I feel like even with all of the, you know, like everyone in the website with the coding and stuff, like I feel like there's still stuff that like she knew that we were going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like there's so much more that we don't know. And that's why I'm excited to just kind of like sit back and wait.
Yeah.
Even though it's very hard to wait. It's been way too long. But
Yeah.
I knew she would deliver. So I can't be mad.
Absolutely. What do you think, Jakara?
Well, I'm kind of thinking ahead, but I think she might do a new song at the Grammys.
Ooh.
So we'll probably get Die With A Smile. Yeah. We may get a new song. That's what I'm hoping for.
I need that.
So.
The Grammys, I'm having the Grammys are my birthday, so I'm having like a watch party at my house. So I'm very nervous and very excited. I feel like these Grammys in general have the potential to be very, very good. So
I think we're in for a treat for sure. I really think we're going to be surprised.
Die With A Smile, is that Grammy nominated? Did that get a nomination?
I feel like it did.
Yeah, I think it got like duo or something. I don't know exactly what the categories are, but I think it got 2 or 3. 2 or 3, I think.
It's got best song, and I think you're right. I think it also got duo. Oh, excited! So she's gonna go to the Grammys. I feel like we can safely say that.
100%. Yeah. This is part of her promotion, you know, like
this is so exciting. It is. But you know what really excites me about that is obviously when she was at the Grammys for her Fame Monster nominations, that was when she was introducing Born This Way. And the Grammys were right at the start of the Born This Way era. And that was when we had the egg or the vessel, whatever you call it. That whole spectacle and experience and performance was literally like the beginning of the Born This Way era. So having the Grammys again at the start of a new era feels really exciting. And I feel like, again, she's going to use that as an opportunity to like introduce the world of Mayhem to us as fans, I feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's so
definitely.
exciting.
It feels like old times. It feels like old times.
Exactly.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
I feel like Gaga actually gave us a little clue about the title in the Disease video that none of us have clocked onto until now. So I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here. So
Please
tell me
go,
if you think
go.
I'm crazy,
I'm all ears.
But like, okay, you know, my mind's been going and going. So in the Disease video, we obviously have that monster character. And I don't know if you guys noticed, like, obviously her mouth makeup is almost like her lips are split into 2 mouths. And obviously what the monster was doing in the music video was almost creating new versions of Gaga. I feel like what she was doing was splitting Gaga into two. Each time she came into contact with Gaga, it was like there was another one, and then there was another one. And then, you know, you saw the two Gagas fighting each other on the bar, where she's in that like bandage outfit and one is like holding onto the bar and the other one's on their hands and knees. That monster is going around and literally splitting Gaga in half every time. So I was like, okay, whether that means she's, you know, Gaga being confronted by her demons, whether it's Gaga being confronted by different versions of herself that she's created in the past, whatever it is, she's being split. And then what I did was, just before we decided to come and record this episode, I thought, let me just check what is the official definition of the word mayhem. And it has several. And one of them is needless or willful damage or violence. But the most interesting one, it says willful and permanent deprivation of a body part resulting in the impairment of a person's fighting ability or mutilation or disfigurement of any part of the body. And that made me instantly think of the Disease video, where she's literally splitting Gaga in two over and over and over again. That's mayhem. It also said, legally speaking, mayhem refers to the gruesome crime of deliberately causing an injury that permanently disfigures another. Nowadays, mayhem can be used to suggest any kind of chaos or disorder. But that original definition of like intentionally, purposefully causing damage, violence, or chaos, that's what the monster character was doing in that video. And that's what we've decided to go with as the album title. So I feel like that was Gaga sprinkling a little bit of a clue in the music video for us.
Very much.
I love that.
Very much so. I love that. That video, I still will never be over.
Insane.
The song itself, I feel like, was such a good first and second single, but like first official single. And you're right. Like, there's so many layers. And I feel like she likes to like let people interpret it, but also like
so good. And
yeah, the pole scene is best scene of the music video. So.
Guys, can I admit something?
Go on.
I'm probably gonna get canceled for this. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed to admit this. I have not seen the full Disease video. Oh my god, I'm about to be canceled. I'm about to be canceled. My Monster card is about to be revoked immediately.
No, we know. You work hard. We know it's okay. We'll give you a pass.
Okay, but I got to admit, I was like kind of campaigning because it was around the election time, so I'm trying to make sure that everyone's like, you know, like voting for the right one. So and then time just like left me. So I'm so embarrassed.
You were doing your due diligence.
She literally was too busy saving the world to clock in.
We appreciate your efforts. We really do. But unfortunately,
I'm about to get canceled. Like, seriously.
Maybe if me and Kristen were doing less watching Disease video and more campaigning, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Yeah.
We're in a better position right now.
I feel
exactly.
Like that may be
my God.
it's okay. I was seeing people on TikTok talk about how they've never seen the Chromatica Ball movie.
I know.
And I saw it late, but I saw
But what are they waiting on though? I guess I can say the same for me. Like, what am I waiting on?
Have you not seen that either?
No, I did. I did watch that one.
Kristen was like, I can forgive the Disease video, but the Chromatica Ball is where I draw the line.
Girl, I was there. I don't need to see the filmed version, okay? I was there.
That was my thought process, and that's why I was so late. I was like, I was there, but then I was like, girl, you have to watch it. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
So I had a glass of wine, and I was like, okay, let's do this.
The wine, though, really gets you in the feels while you're watching it. You're like, wow, I really was there, though. I really was there.
Literally.
That was my first like real Gaga show, because for Joanne I was really far away and it was pouring pouring rain.
At least you guys got to go see Joanne. Brooke, you got to go see Joanne, right? Or
No,
you haven't?
I still can't talk about it. It's too painful to talk about my Joanne being cancelled.
Literally same. Same. I didn't get a chance to go at all either. So
my friend from Canada too.
I chose Janet Jackson, but anyway.
Well,
an icon.
At my show, she didn't perform Dancing in Circles and Bloody Mary, so
that's so annoying.
But I was like, I think the last show before she ended up like canceling it, so I can't be ungrateful. But yeah, Chromatica was like my first real like right there. You guys are both going to Coachella, right?
Are you going to Jakara?
You know what? If I find something last minute, maybe I'll volunteer, try to get a ticket or something. I mean, because I'm so close. Like, Coachella Valley is
that's why I was
2.5 hours away from me. I'm really not that far, but
them
tickets though, they're not economical. I'm sorry, not in this economy. When eggs are almost $7, like,
oh god,
girl, the eggs are supposed to be going down apparently. So
I gotta choose. I gotta choose a different protein now because I'm like, eggs is not gonna do it no more.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Coachella. Oh my gosh, if I could make it down there with you, Brooke, I think that would just be beautiful. We can just cry together. Just be in the moment, just cry.
If you end up going, tell me. I'm doing weekend 1. That would be amazing. That would be so amazing.
Yes, and the fits. I already know Brooke is coming with those fits though.
Yeah. But that's the main reason I was asking. Like, do you know? Like, what are we even? I'm sure you have like your set.
I haven't started making them, but I know what I'm going to do for the Gaga day. And I think, should I just tell you? It's not that deep.
Go ahead, girl. All ears.
So
it's always that deep with you.
I was like, I want to do something. What I always do is do something of the era. And I feel like, I don't know if you guys felt this, but this Halloween just gone felt like the first year where people were actually like appreciating Fame era Gaga as like a legit pop moment, where like people were doing like 2008, 2009 inspired Gaga costumes and stuff. And I was like, to be fair, with this new album, it does feel like kind of a look back at her career as a whole. So I don't think it's a bad idea to necessarily do a Gaga costume from like early Gaga times and not just do like an LG7 thing. Because I feel like a lot of people are going to do, and especially at the tour, a lot of people will be doing like the Disease music video looks. They'll be doing whatever like is on the album cover. I feel like that is going to be like what everyone kind of goes to. So I was thinking like, what can I do that's like maybe early Gaga or just like classic Gaga that feels Coachella vibes as well. So I want to do the poker face look where she has the metal kind of lightning bolt on her head and she has that silver beaded dress, and it's like the close-up shots where she's in front of that kind of light behind her. I want to do that.
That's gonna be perfect. And I just love how you always think outside the box, Brooke. Like, you know, you take it beyond. And
thank you.
And this is why you are where you are right now. So keep going, and I can't wait.
True.
And I also see you having like a big old board and just having like all the visions for like, okay, this is like what I'm gonna be wearing, like, you know, to Coachella, and who knows, you might do a quick change in the middle of the concert, like, you know, like like, oh, y'all thought, okay, here's the real outfit right here.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
No, your disease look, the plague doctor, was ridiculous.
Yes, and you gotta notice, right?
And you did that in like
she reposted it.
And you did that in what, wasn't that like 2 days, 3 days?
It was a day or two.
Are you serious?
I think I did it like the next day. Yeah, because I was like, the thing is, everyone's gonna do it, so I want to be really fast, and then
you have to be quick at this point.
Yeah,
girl, you're insane. Like a day, that is crazy.
These young fans don't have jobs, and they have like all the time to just like sit at home, like
and make TikToks and dance
and make things instantly. I'm a working woman. I have to use my free time to get the content done, otherwise it doesn't get out there.
No lies told. No lies told.
Honestly.
Well, that's how I feel with the makeup. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this after work, or it's not happening because I don't have time.
Literally.
We're adulting.
But luckily, luckily it worked out. But yeah, that costume was everything.
Oh, thank you, girls.
Yeah, so Gaga reposted you
She did repost that one, yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's always strange. My biggest stuff that's Gaga related, she never sees it. And then like a smaller video or like an obscure one, she will see that. And then like she doesn't see the stuff that like is like massively going viral and people are tagging her in it, and she just like doesn't engage. And then yeah, it's really weird.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of a Gaga notice, I gotta say, Brooke, I appreciate you keeping it diverse. I feel like the guests that you've had on your podcast thus far, I feel like you all have had a Gaga notice. I am the only one who has not had a Gaga notice. So I do appreciate you mixing it up a little bit. And yeah, I think people are going to come for me because I did the rose thing at the Jazz and Piano. So I did get a Gaga notice, but that was in person. But
how was
online,
that?
no.
How was that?
That was everything.
It was just so surreal. Like we were just kind of like communicating, like, you know, non-verbally, obviously, but it's just what she was singing to me, and I was handing her the rose, and I was just like, I just can't believe this is happening. This is crazy. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go sit down because this is getting a little awkward. But
I would take that over 12 reposts.
Yeah.
You do deserve 12 reposts, but you deserve that too.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
That's like a real moment.
I try, you know.
You know, you'll never forget that.
And it's still on my Instagram page. So yeah, that was like 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. It's crazy.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Time really flies.
I think she'll go back to Vegas.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm there. I am all the way there.
I know. I need to go this time, especially if she's gonna perform Harlequin songs. Then
that would be iconic.
Oh my god,
that album!
If she does like a Harlequin set list,
yeah,
I will die. I
love Jazz and Piano set list. You know, the past couple shows, but I feel like Harlequin is so different. I love that era so bad, or that mini era.
Yeah.
I still listen to that album probably like once every other day. Like it's so good. And I'm a musical theater kid.
Some of those songs, it feels like she was born to sing those, right? Like they're covers, but they feel like hers.
Yes. I wish that could have been nominated for some Grammys.
Yeah. And hopefully we get the recorded listening party. I mean.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, you talking about the one that was in LA, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, you guys, I was so close to going. Like I was with another friend.
I just saw you say that.
Yes, I cannot, and I had to go to work. I was like, no, she literally was right up the street. The theater is literally like a 3-minute walk, I swear. And I'm like, why? Why is this happening? There's no one else to work for me. It was like last minute, but you know what? I can't wait to watch it whenever it comes out. So,
oh, girl. That's so annoying. I was at the door of the London one as well, and I like nearly got in and then got turned away last minute.
I feel like you would have had a better chance out here. Like if you were already out here, like they were just letting people in. Like I think you would have definitely got it if you were out here.
Oh really? They were so strict in London. And the thing is, it was like it started off as just like a small group of us trying to get in, and we thought, oh, maybe they will let be okay. And then by the time like they were like thinking, oh, we could maybe let a few more people in, there were so many people waiting. I think it just put them off. They were like, you know what, actually none of you are coming in. So it was so close.
That's heartbreaking.
It just didn't.
That's heartbreaking.
This time last week, I think everyone was kind of going, where the hell is the LG7 news? Where the hell is the announcement? We know nothing. What is going on? Is it postponed? Is it cancelled? What's happening? And now, before we decided to record this, I wrote out a little timeline of things that we know are happening. So let me run through that, and then we can discuss bits and pieces afterwards. So obviously, as we already said, January 27th, which is a few days away, we're getting the date and title announcement. We already know the title is Mayhem. The little hacker monsters have found the date of the album, and they are predicting it to be February 13th. We then have on January 30th, the LA Fire Aid concert. We have also around then, we'll get the official February cover of Elle magazine, which has leaked. we've got to discuss that after I get through this list as well. We have the title for the Gaga feature in the magazine as Mayhem and Marriage, implying that Gaga had actually married Michael. She isn't just a fiance anymore, is what the suggesting title is there. Then, as we've said, we've got the Grammys on February 3rd. Then 10 days later, we have the alleged album release date, February 13th. Then going into March, we have the iHeartRadio Music Awards, where Gaga is going to be given the Innovator Award. Then we have 11th and 18th, both of her Coachella weekend performances. And then we have a Brazil performance on May 3rd. So there is something big happening every month from now until at least May. And I would probably say until at least July, August, if we're doing a summer tour. So it has gone from absolute radio silence. Oh my God, I'm going to say something so corny. It's gone from radio silence to Radio Gaga.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Do we think she's going to be doing a tour this year, though? I just feel like with the way things are moving so quickly, I'm like, I mean, she could pull it together, obviously, but...
After what she said in Vogue when she did the interview for Harlequin, when she was like, touring the Chromatica Ball was when Michael said to her, like, you need to make pop music again, because he saw how happy she was on that tour. That to me sounds like she wants to tour this album that she's just made, especially as like the Chromatica Ball was so delayed because of COVID. I feel like she wants this tour to happen. I honestly do think, listen, I've been wrong about every other prediction I've made about LG7 so far, but I'm willing to say I think the tour is happening this year. And I tell you why. Next year, she's probably got something big coming up, whether it's a movie or whatever. My theory, and it's the same every time she releases an album, my theory is that she wants to get the album and tour done this year so next year she can focus on starting a family. I think if that L title is anything to go by and she has actually gone ahead and gotten married to Michael, the next step I think for her is starting a family. And she's spoken about wanting to do that for so many years. I feel like that's the logical next step.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You know, she has been talking about that for so long. I still feel like she will do stuff if she is in such a good headspace, and she's talked so much about how much she's enjoyed like making music for this album and just doing stuff in general. Like, I feel like that won't put a halt to everything. So I think the whole pregnancy scares, they're funny, but like, she's not going anywhere. She may go. She may not like perform as much and do stuff, but I think we will still get content. We will still get music, like, and I'm down for it all. So if you want a jazz album, let's do it. Like, anything.
You know, people always do this whole thing whenever it's announced that she's doing a movie, or if it's announced that she's doing something with jazz, everyone's like, okay, Gaga the pop star is done. Like, she's gone. I feel like that narrative, honestly, sorry, this is going to sound really but like, that annoys me so much when I see people saying that, because it's kind of like, for me, if you're a fan, you know that this woman was born to be a performer, and she's always going to be that person. So it doesn't matter if she doesn't want to make, you know, if she doesn't want to do a world tour anymore, or if she doesn't want to, you know, do these massive music videos or big things, or if she doesn't like posting online anymore, she's always going to want to be someone who is on stage and making music. That's literally like, that's who she is as a person. Whether she's making a movie, whether she's doing jazz, whether she's doing covers, that gene is still very much in her. And she's not just doing it because it makes the fans happy. It's because that's who she is and that's where she thrives. So she can have a family, she can do movies, she can do everything. I feel like her heart will always come back to pop music because that's where she sits comfortably.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's also why the whole, you know, I know online a lot of stan culture is Billboard and just sales and promotion and everything. And I just feel like if she's comfortable with herself and is comfortable in her life after all that she's gone through and been up and down, I feel like that's the main thing that should matter.
Yeah.
And I feel like we should just take whatever she's willing to give us, like, especially at the point that she's at now, where she actually feels good. Like, you guys have been fans for just as long as I have, probably even a little longer online. But like she's been up and down like constantly, and I feel like this time it just feels different, and it's really nice to see, because it hurts when she's not like doing okay, like, and it's crazy, okay, parasocial relationship, whatever, but as someone who's just been a fan for so long, it feels nice to see her doing okay.
I couldn't agree more. You know what I think, to build on what you were saying as well, I feel like the past couple of albums have been an attempt at like Gaga trying to work out those feelings that she has through her music. So I think it starts right from the beginning, honestly. If you want to talk about like fantasy and reality and escapism, those themes are present in like nearly every single album that she's released. But I think you can see it in art pop, where she's using like partying and substances and grand experiences to try and like escape something a bit darker. That continues very obviously in Chromatica, where she literally created a state of mind and called it Chromatica and made it like a fantasy planet that she goes to kind of work through her demons. Looking at Disease, it feels like that theme is still very much present, but exactly like you said, Kristen, it feels like now she actually has a hold of it. She's not just drowning in it anymore. She's actually holding on to it and saying, I know that this is chaos, but I can navigate it here and I know what I'm doing now. So I think, as even though, there's always going to be comparisons to like other dark pop moments that she's had in her career, previous songs, previous albums, previous aesthetics, I don't think she could make Disease, and without even hearing it, I even want to go out and say I don't think she could have made Mayhem years ago, even if it has similarities to things she did years ago. I think she needs to be the person she is now to make this album that she's making now, because of all of that she's gone through.
I mean, you could just like tell, like when she was in the Rolling Stones video and she was breaking down Disease, and just, it's a different Gaga for sure.
Yeah.
It's a healed Gaga.
It feels like a Pokemon evolution.
Yes. But just her being in her happy place and just, being grounded. And now she has this, her fiance, is like she collaborates with him. So I think that's just really beautiful.
She is an evolved version of who she used to be. So very appropriately, she is being given the Innovator Award at the iHeart Music Radio, whatever. iHeart Radio Music Awards. There we go. Got it right then. The Innovator Award. Who else would get an Innovator Award? I honestly do think she probably is one of the most innovative artists in pop music, if not in music period.
Yeah, in music period, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so
I can't think
good
of anyone else. Yeah.
Because, all these years into her career and still getting these, and the VMA Chromatica thing, where it was like, it wasn't the Vanguard Award, but it was like, I feel like a whole kind of like tribute to her. Like even that was insane. And now 5 years later, like it's happening again. Like you can't say that she's not an innovator, and you can't say that the impact she has had on the industry is like not there. Even the new girls, like it's always there.
I agree.
It's always there.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to get probably, I'm hoping, a performance at this award show.
Yeah.
So if we've got Grammys and we've got the iHeartRadio Music Awards, that's like at least 2 kind of like TV performances.
Yes.
I'd imagine the house / Bobby is planning some kind of like TV, press, something in the mix as well in this kind of promotion. Bear in mind, those dates I read out are just things that we know about. I feel like there's going to be quite a few other things popping up here and there that we didn't know about. I know a lot of people are desperate for like a Disease live performance. I feel like we're definitely going to get a proper kind of TV performance from that at some point.
I could see that too.
Next week, we've got this Fire Aid concert where I'd imagine she's probably only going to perform 1 or 2 songs.
I could see that too, yeah.
What do we think she's going to do for this? Because I think obviously, and this is something else I wanted to talk about with you guys, we've always known Gaga as an activist, but she has been very quiet in recent years. So to see her on this kind of LA Fire Aid concert lineup wasn't surprising, but to see her be silent about it until then may or may not be surprising, depending on kind of, I guess, how you feel about Gaga and certain things. But how do we feel about that generally? So I have a theory. All of that to say, I have another theory.
No, let's hear yours.
I'm ready.
No, let's hear your theory.
And you know what? This is kind of dark, so I don't even want to get into it too deeply. But I really feel like, so there's two things that always pop up for me here. Whenever we see these like big events happen that are kind of catastrophic in the world, and we see her being silent, I think, first of all, the turning point was the Dr. Luke trial. I think it is quite disappointing that these things happen and Gaga doesn't say anything publicly that often anymore. But I really do think that publicly advocating for Kesha in her trial absolutely deteriorated Gaga's mental and physical health for a long time. She spoke about how that triggered her fibromyalgia and how she was recovering from that for a really long time. So I think, and again, this is me sounding parasocial now, but from my interpretation of that whole mess is that she feels like she spoke about something publicly, she went through absolute hell in terms of spiraling and being re-triggered, and then it didn't even actually have a positive outcome for the victim, which was Kesha in that situation. So I feel like that's the first thing. And then I think the second thing that pops up for me is when George Michael sadly passed away. George Michael obviously was a huge pop star. He was gay, which at the time was very controversial. When he passed away, it was revealed that he was a secret philanthropist. So basically tons and tons of charities came out and said that he was donating to them privately and secretly. So, you know, when you see a news article that says so-and-so has donated $1 million to this cause or whatever, he would always do that privately. So it wasn't until after he passed away that actually it was revealed, okay, all of these years he's been doing all of this charity work and all of this stuff. These two things, I think, are kind of how I feel about Gaga's activism now. I would not be surprised, and again, this is me just making something up from what those two kind of things tell me, but I would really not be surprised if the way Gaga kind of does her activism nowadays is less with her platform and more with her influence. I think we saw that with the COVID concert that she did when, you know, she obviously got all of those big businesses to donate instead of asking people to donate. She kind of is saying what can she do with her influence behind the scenes rather than publicly taking people's money or publicly pushing people to do something. And I think it's the same with obviously how she's been silent with the inauguration, silent with, you know, even the TikTok ban, you could even say, all of this stuff with Elon Musk. I don't think she's going to make a statement at any point personally. I think 2011 Lady Gaga would have. I think 2025 Lady Gaga will not, for better or for worse. But that is just my theory and take on things. But I don't know how you guys feel about it. Obviously, I can sit here from across the pond and say she should or shouldn't say this or should or shouldn't do this. You guys are living it and it's your reality. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Do you even feel like pop stars making statements or doing things does help your situation?
I don't know, because I feel like it kind of takes away from the cause at hand, because it now puts the light back on them. Like, oh, okay, so if Gaga came out and was like, she donated $1 million, you know, towards the fire relief. Okay, that's great. But then Lady Gaga is the leading headline. You know, I feel like the focus is, okay, Lady Gaga, you know, what about these people? But I also feel like because she's so close to the Palisades, I feel like she probably was out there feeding firemen, ordering food, making food, feeding, you know, just hands-on, like right there, because that kind of is her community. So I just feel like, of course, she was a little bit quiet about that, but I just feel like that's probably what she did. And who knows, she might have like popped up at some shelters, but then I guess if she did, then someone probably would have some kind of footage with their personal phone or something like that. So It's definitely still there. I just think, and I think I remember in her documentary, I think she said she wanted to, or maybe it was an interview, she wanted to take away from herself. She felt like if she doesn't focus on herself, but rather others, then she doesn't feel like, I guess, like the loneliness or something along the lines of that. I just remember it was like a while ago, like an interview, or it was part of the documentary where she said she just feels like she needs to start focusing on other people, asking other people, like, oh, how are you? And then it just takes away from like your thoughts and the feeling of loneliness. So,
I feel like I agree.
yeah.
People with really big platforms are automatically expected to, and I feel like, you should, like, it's good, but I do also feel like you can tell that she's the type of person who cares, and it wouldn't go like unnoticed for her. So I definitely feel like she's doing stuff behind the scenes. But I do also know, like, with, stan culture and stuff, like, people want to hear stuff. They want to, like, know that, like, this person is advocating for this, and their exact thoughts about it. And, I understand that, but I also just think she is the type of person to do things privately now, especially. Like,
Yeah.
it's just it's changed, but she's definitely still the same person.
I think so. And I think the fact that she is doing the concert again is kind of like, she didn't put a statement out, and I didn't think she would necessarily, but she's not, hiding from the world. She's not pretending she doesn't see that this is going on. But I guess, like you say, like both of you said, maybe it's less about Lady Gaga puts out a statement about the war or about Trump or whatever the topic is, and maybe it's just about, okay, what can I actually do? But we won't know that because we don't know her personally, and I guess maybe that's a boundary again that she's intentionally putting there, which I don't think any of us can really blame her for.
I think we'll hear about it later on down the line. I think it could be, 10 years from now, someone would be like, hey, Gaga was the one that helped me, rebuild my house or fed me during that, I think we'll hear about it, later on down the line. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I would not be surprised if like those kinds of stories come out. But look, regardless, we're here for the music. It's
exactly.
We had to talk about
it. Very true.
We had to talk about it. Going back to talking about the music, one of the things that people have found, again in the source code of the ladygaga.com website, is an image. The little hackers have found an image which people are maybe speculating might be the album cover. It might just be a promo image, but it's a black and white image. Gaga has dark hair, and there is a shattered glass kind of effect to the left. Now, something I did want to talk about with you guys, I saw somebody take the lyrics from Happy Mistake and use that as a comparison to this Mayhem promo image / album cover. Obviously, the lyrics to Happy Mistake, my head is full of broken mirrors, so many I can't look away.
I'm thinking of the song as you're like reading the lyrics. I think it's promo. I don't think it's the actual album cover. Or maybe she's testing the waters, getting some reactions from us, and it's like, should I use this as the album cover, or should I, go back to the drawing board? So now I wonder how many tracks are going to be on this album. I'm thinking probably a lot. What do you guys think?
I hope so.
Yes.
I mean, in my heart, I'd be like, give us like 40 songs and I'll listen to all 40 songs.
Yes. Yes.
But like in reality, I guess like between 15 and 23, I don't know, Born This Way had quite a lot of tracks, didn't it?
You asking the wrong one. I wish I knew, but
I'm looking. Okay, so Born This Way only had 14. Okay. It felt like more. I could have sworn Born This Way had more. Okay, so Born This Way has 14 tracks. Chromatica has 16, but obviously Chromatica has the 3 kind of interludes as well. So if you count those, if you don't, then Chromatica has 13. And obviously we've got the remix album as well. Yeah, I'd say somewhere around there. I don't think we're going to get a short like Fame Monster kind of EP. I think she wants to give us a full album.
Do we think there will be some collaborations?
I think so. We obviously already know we have the Bruno Mars song, so I don't think it's that she wants to put out a completely solo project. Otherwise, she wouldn't have added Die With a Smile. So there's rumors, isn't there? There's rumors with The Weeknd. There's rumors with Chapel Roan.
Their voices, though, Gaga
Absolutely.
and Chapel's, I'm like trying to like mix it in my mind right now. I'm like, how would that sound?
I'd love like a proper, I don't know, I love the way Chapel writes. I think like a song like Good Luck Babe, but with like a darker spin to it would be really cool. Okay, I'm going to read some tweets to you guys from Azealia Banks, her opinions on disease, because it's kind of funny. So this one's from January 21st. Bitches, I really became a little monster in the last 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, her fan base used to be incredibly racist and there were a few times I connected, but after Disease, I really got into her discography and have mad respect for her. Like, damn, Gaga is that girl. TBH, I was really into The Edge of Glory. I don't know why people don't like it, but I think it's great. Gaga's one of the top white girls for me.
She is spilling. She is spilling.
She kind of is. She kind of is. I agree.
You know what? Normally she says something right and something wrong. I don't think she said anything wrong in that kind of segment of tweet.
No, I don't think so.
She's evolved as well.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting. And I don't think this is shade because I've actually spoken about this before too. So she's talking about Gaga. She said, I really am inspired by when especially female artists have the audacity to be ugly, so to speak, because the world can be ugly and on top of that, super ugly to women and expect us to smile and hold our farts in and speak only when spoken to. And think what she did with Disease is quite daring and monumental in a time where disease seems almost like a guaranteed prerequisite of modern life. It's in the food, the water, the air, it's exhaustion, it's in decadence and in poverty, it's in the mind, the body, the spirit, and even in the things we are told are medicines. Disease is very jarringly emotive as it feels like the first song of its kind in which repentance and faith in the God that made her sick are not the singer's saving grace. She's ready to fight God tooth and nail for her right to survive and expects to win. It's also really epic of her to touch on the very real internal conversations humans have with themselves about their own mortality, the mortality of people they love, the helplessness, regret, prayer, shame, despair, desperation, disbelief, grief, confusion about whether disease is a constant and expected part of human life or a curse for some action or inaction. Wow.
That's very deep. Wow. Yeah, I was not
is.
expecting that from her.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
does. She
Like-
has points sometimes. She does. I agree.
You know what I enjoy is that Azealia Banks, when she gets it right, and it's not, it's not even about getting it right because obviously you can agree or disagree with any opinion, but when she gives something real thought, she really does have a way with words, whether it's like an analysis like that or whether it's like dragging someone for, what did she say? Like Kanye smelt like Sprite breath or something. I don't know, whatever. She has, she has a way with words that is so intoxicating at times. I'm just fascinated by it. She also isn't feeling Beyonce's cowboy era. She said, I'm so sorry, but I just know Beyonce's rock album is going to be kitschy, and I think I'm just going to leave it at B-Day. Gaga, please save us from having to sit through another forced and lethargic Beyonce era and deliver us from Brat Summer.
From Brat.
I mean, personally, I am excited for a Beyonce rock album, but it does make me laugh, kind of her takes on this. She said, Disease is an Eastern Bloc Slavic industrial stadium Rammstein rock massacre. Circuit Watts and Miss Gaga really fucking did that. There's so many cultural elements. And then she was dragging someone who called the song bland. She said, you're just a rural white cunt driving 20 miles for brunch at Taco Bell who thinks Brat is cutting edge. This level of culture is just not for you. You don't have enough stamps on your passport for this, babe.
I mean, she read him all the way.
One thing about her,
out the galaxy.
I think she's right.
Yeah.
It's such a good pop song, but there's also so much meaning underneath it. So it's like the general public can love it and dance to it, but it's also like, you know, the people who actually dig deep, like there's a meaning behind that, and it's just so good all around, like for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. She said this is her best vocal performance ever, and this is number one in her discography to me. A fucking reinvention. I love it here, and I'm the biggest hater of all time. When the haters fuck with it, you know it's valid.
It's true. She is the biggest girl of all
Speaking
time.
facts, exactly.
There's something very valid in what Azealia is saying here, and you know, whether you like her or not, whether you support her or not, I think one thing that we can't really deny is that she does have a good ear for music.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God.
to hear her opinions on disease and for them to be positive, not only positive, but to be as glowingly, you know, she seems like she sounds like a stan, you know.
Right.
So,
As she should.
Each time you listen to disease, I just feel like it just like I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it just gets better and better. Like each and every time you listen to it, you're like, wow. I'm wowed every single time.
It's intoxicating.
Every
you know, like I could just listen on a loop, the outro with the
I was gonna say
like that on a loop. I could just listen to like for hours. It's
so satisfying, and I agree with that. It's definitely, the vocals are insane. That's why I think like a performance, actual like just regular performance is going to be insane, because I did love the antidote, and I did love the other you know performance she did of it, but like when we get the original, like original key, original everything, like I don't think we're ready. I think not.
The part that's really going to leave us bald is going to be when we see what choreography they're planning on doing, like the staging, the production, and the choreography, the backup dancers. What are they going to wear? How are they going to look? Gaga, how is she going to be part of that? I think that is what's really going to gag everything.
It's going to be so good.
And I'm still hoping like we're sticking with this non-Ricky Jackson choreography.
I think he's moved on to JoJo Siwa, so hopefully.
Yes.
I feel like I need a new segment of the podcast where I just read like the latest Azealia Banks takes of the week.
I think you should.
Yes. Let's do it. Yes.
It's so funny. It's so funny. She is very right about disease, though, and she's very right in saying that, you know, Gaga is a lot more advanced than some of these other girls, even the ones who kind of blew up in the same era, like especially Katie. I mean, don't want to bring that up, but I just feel like it was so not easy, but like you just have to have like that kind of it factor to kind of like make it like really far. And some of these girls from the 2010s just kind of like lost it, and I feel like Gaga's has been like very consistent, like always on it.
Like you said, advanced, and she kind of reminds me of like Prince in a sense. I feel like Prince was always like advanced, ahead, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Like gives me those vibes.
We did have one question sent in as well from Chelsea. Love Chelsea.
Hey, Chelsea.
Hey. She said, if you could have her bring back one song to an upcoming tour set list, what would it be? So I have two. I have three I can pick between.
I have two. Well, I have a bunch, but I do have two. I need Starstruck.
Oh.
Sorry. Like, something about that. Like, I need Starstruck. Both of my answers I feel like do not fit like the theme of this album, but I'm going for it. Mary Jane Holland.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
That song is everything. I will take anything from art pop. Yeah. Like, I have very little hope, but anything. But that song, like, she performed it so well. And I feel like the crowd constantly, like, goes crazy. I mean, like, I can just see it now. But yeah, for some reason, lately, like, every time I get asked this, or every time I talk to someone about this, it's Starstruck is like the first one that pops up. Like, I feel like that would be so fun. And it's so old. Like,
Yeah.
it's so old. It would be so fun to see her perform that now.
She's gotta take it back. She's gotta take it back. This is why we need the greatest hits.
We do.
Her Summer Boy.
I feel like she only ever performed Starstruck once, and I only ever found one video of it, and it's this really grainy video when she was just performing in clubs.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, you're right. We do need a Justice for Starstruck performance.
Yeah, for sure. Especially now.
Yeah, imagine her vocals now. That would be so good. Jakara, what are your songs you'd bring back on an upcoming tour set list?
Money Honey. That is.
Oh.
Yes.
These choices. This is how you know we're talking to veteran fans. Like,
yes, Money Honey and Sex Dreams. I mean, bops.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, anything from art pop. Sex Dreams would go crazy.
Yes.
I was at the iTunes Festival when she performed Sex Dreams, like for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
And
that performance was everything.
Yes.
Changed my life, you know.
The fact that you were there.
I remember I was front row in the center because we camped, and I remember just looking up, and she was doing like choreography with the line of dancers where they all kind of like
I love that,
around each other and doing all that. And I think I just stared up like that for like 5 minutes without closing my mouth, just like.
That's how it is. That's how I was at Chromatica Ball. I really had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on.
I love that you were there. Honestly, and I was on the couch watching the live.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was watching it too. That performance was everything.
Yes. So good.
I can't even imagine witnessing that like in person.
Right.
Yeah, there's a clip of me crying my eyes out after she performed I Want to Be With You, and like it's like between her performing that and then coming back to do Applause as the encore, there's like some audience shots, and there's me just
oh my
right
gosh,
there, like, crying.
Can you find that? I need to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll find it.
Iconic.
Yeah, it's only a quick shot, but yeah, that was insane to be there for that. My songs I would bring back. So I loved Replay from the Chromatica Balls so much.
That was
Replay, yeah, so good. Still my most listened song from Chromatica, and I think thematically could fit with Mayhem. But in terms of ones that maybe not so much fitting with Mayhem, I think of the Monster Ball arrangement of So Happy I Could Die. That's my Roman Empire. I think about it maybe once or twice a week. The harps and the guitars in that specific arrangement of the song just makes me feel like I'm floating. It's like the best thing ever. And then finally, similarly, in that kind of vein, Art Pop, the song itself, I think is just a dream. And it's like an actual, it comes close to being like an outer body experience, that song live. So yeah, but if the more I think about it, the more I'm like thinking of other songs. Like now that we're talking about Art Pop and thinking about the Art Rave, and I'm like, no, GUI was like amazing at the Art Rave. And like you already said, like Sex Dreams was so good live. Like there's so many. I think you're right about a greatest hits, but I think she also needs to do maybe a greatest hits for like the locals, and then maybe like a B-sides tour for us lot.
Exactly.
Like, oh my god, that's very, very smart.
And we could be there all night. Look, let's go ahead and run it. Like, you know, like run it.
Is it the Eras tour where it's like 3.5 hours long? Yeah. Is that we need that?
Exactly.
We need that.
And if there's an intermission, like that will be okay.
Yeah.
Like,
look, I got all night. Let's do it. Yeah. We'll camp. We already camping. Might as well get.
Yeah.
It's hard when she has such an insane like discography, because you could just go on and on with the amount of just like things you would want to see her perform. Yeah. Also like fitting with Mayhem, like there's songs like from like her first album that would still kind of fit in that theme. So it's like I can't even imagine the process of like her choosing like what songs to perform. Like I would be unbearable if I was on her team.
Yeah.
You need to do this. She needs to do this.
We'd be like
You need to do this.
Blue Ivy telling Beyonce she needs to perform Diva.
Diva.
I was looking back at her Coachella set list from, was it 2017? She did Coachella. And that was actually like an art pop fan's dream set list. She did so much art pop. She did like Venus.
Yeah, that was wild.
Insane. Like really, really good set list that I think did a good job of like appealing to like us lot who like all of those B-sides and lesser known tracks, and then also appealing to like the wider kind of audience with songs like You and I and The Edge of Glory, ones that, you know, big Gaga songs that aren't necessarily the ones that people talk about all the time. I think she balanced that so well. So I think for her Coachella set list and probably this Brazil set list too, we're going to see a really good mix of like those fan favorites, big hits.
The Brazil for sure.
Yeah, Brazil are going to want to hear everything. But I think we're going to get some really exciting set list choices this era.
It's been too long, Brazil. Y'all, prayers answered.
Yeah.
Prayers answered. Like
they do. They deserve it. Isn't there supposed to be like, how many people are supposed to be going to that? I saw something that it was a crazy number.
I mean, the whole everybody comes out for that. They'll pack the streets, like balconies, like everyone's coming out for that. The whole city, it's gonna be shut down. Everything's shut down.
Before we wrap up, guys, something I've asked all of my guests to do so far is claim what track is going to be their track on LG7. So the tracks that have already been claimed are 1 by Liv Marks, 3 by Nicole, and 7 by me. So which tracks are you guys claiming? And then once we hear the album, we can circle back and see, did you claim the right track?
Number 9.
I think 10. Track 10.
Oh, 9 and 10.
Track 10 has to be it. It's 10.
Have you got any reasoning, Jakara, for track 9?
It was just a number that just like randomly seeing 9. So
it spoke to you.
Yeah, 10 was like the first one that I don't know, I have a feeling
10 is gonna be that girl.
10 has to be that.
They say women have good intuition, so you know, I feel like all of these tracks are gonna be slays.
Yes,
very true. This album is gonna be
I was just about to do we on the same way. I was about to be like killer.
Well, guys, thank you so much for talking to me. I feel like all of the news we've had since I recorded the last episode has been so overwhelming, but it's been amazing to like process it in live time with all of you.
Yes.
And discuss everything. Thank you again so much for your time, for chatting with me. And of course, like, I do just have to say, the world is kind of watching what's happening in your country right now. And I think everyone is just sending you so much love. Anybody who needs it, anybody who feels vulnerable, whether it's yourselves or your loved ones or whoever, there is so much happening right now. I've heard people say they're kind of sick of being, you know, every day feels like a day that's going to be remembered in history for the wrong reasons. And it's scary to be a part of that. I think it can be so overwhelming, but I feel very lucky that even just for an hour or so, we can chat about something fun and have something that we can connect with from other sides of the world that brings us together. But definitely, like, everybody is really like keeping their fingers crossed for all of you, for your, you know, for your safety and your well-being. But you know, it's a scary time, but we are here for you. And thank you, as always. Like I said at the top of the episode, I've found both of you over the years to just be such kind, warm people for me. So I just hope that, like, if there's anything you guys ever need, that I can return the favor for you. But it's been amazing to chat to both of you. It's been so fun, and I really hope we get to do this in person one day, because that would just be so fun.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much. And hopefully the next time we talk, I'd love to, once the album is out, like I say, reconnect and chat about all our favorite tracks and download and just, debrief from the whole thing.
Let's do it again. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Brooke.
I love you. I love you both so much.
Yes, love and light to all of you.
Well, for everybody listening, thank you so much. Best wishes and kisses. Mwah.